Welcome everyone. It is another beautiful day with the happy hippie chicks and our joy. And today we are doing borrow joy from the past. So this is all about nostalgia and those really wonderful memories that you've got. And even if you've had a hard life, I'm sure there is something that you can look back on as a beautiful moment, a moment that brings you joy. And usually those are the most subtle ones, right? They're the ones that it's not necessarily a big event or something, a great achievement or something. Sometimes the best joy comes from literally those calm moments of just watching your cat sleep or, just having a really nice drink and relaxing, watching the sunset or something like that. Like they're very, very subtle, and that's what we're going to look at today. Is nostalgia in general and borrowing the joys from the past. So nostalgia can be a very, very beautiful, very gentle bridge connecting you back to a safe time and a familiar time. Because if we're thinking nostalgically, we're thinking, oh, I wish I could go back to that. Right. So that's when you felt, even if at the time you didn't feel perfectly safe and perfectly happy, the memory of it, you think, oh yeah, that was the good old days. So that's something that you long to go back to, that you long to have that safety and that security, that knowing of where you are and who you are. So that's a really, really beautiful way to connect back to, but not live in the past, to borrow the joy from your memories and your past is a very, very beautiful way of bringing in your that bit of joy that you need, that sort of injection of joy when you can't find anything else. You can look at your past for that. Um, it also reminds you of who you were then and who you are now. And wherever you are in your life, it wouldn't have come to who you are now and what you've experienced and who you are as a person without all of these past things too. So it's very important to honor your past, whether that be good or bad, because it has created the you now with all the lessons, all the wisdom, and all the joy that you have now. So today we are encouraging you to do something nostalgic. So we can go back to what we did before with the songs. There's a very old song that you had from childhood or your youth that can bring back those memories of nostalgia, you could play that. Maybe there was a childhood snack, so going back to the day that we did the food, and really eat that mindfully and be transported back to that joyous occasion or that time in your childhood. And of course, there's movies, TV shows, anything that can trigger that. Maybe the photo album. If anyone watching this is as old as us and used to have photo albums rather than the digital stuff, and you can actually open it up and smell it and look through old baby photos, old wedding photos, all these beautiful times of, when you were younger. Anything like that, anything that can trigger those happy memories for you. And again, the more simple, the more joy almost comes back because it's something that can be recreated. And I will shut up now because I'm just starting waffling off script. So it is
Yeah,
now over to Karnie for the joy flips.
yeah. And I love that focus on growth. That's something that's really important to me. I always like to look back at the past and see where I was and see how far I've come. So I was saying with Becca and Kerry before, I'm wearing my little purple poncho today, and well, gosh, I've probably had this 10 years now, but my very first poncho, my nan crocheted for me when I was about 12. And she also crocheted me the coolest, so that was a bright red one. And she also crocheted me the coolest, I don't even know what call them, but they were, you put your arms in and you pulled them across and did them up with buttons, and they had all of this incredible fringing hanging off them. She crocheted that for me in purple. It was divine, absolutely divine. Would have been perfect for today, but this is the closest I've got. And just thinking of my nan, like one of the things that was a really simple joy that I loved was every Sunday, if we were over, she and I would walk down to the shops at 8 o'clock in the morning and buy either a Vienna or a split Vienna. Here we are back on the bread theme again. And we would come home and spread it with Gurkha butter and marmalade. And then she would make a milk coffee, and we would sit and talk for 4 or 5 hours nonstop, dead set. And she would tell us all these stories from the past. My nan was a master storyteller. She really wove story well. And sometimes the story had changed because she'd add little bits and embellish. But that was kind of cool as a kid. But those were some of my favorite memories, just that collect, that community of sitting around listening to her life and how she was revering the past and how things had changed. Yeah, so it was really cool. All right, let's get into what we're having a look at. Oops, what's happened here? Okay, so today, as Becca said, we're borrowing joy from the past. And we're looking at nostalgia as safety, not escape. So we're not stepping back into the past and saying, oh, I wish I was back there. My life is so dreadful now. If only I was 12 or 13 or 20 again. No, we're not doing that. We're stepping out of a disconnection and into a continuity shadow. So instead of saying that version of me is gone and looking at it with longing and regret and feeling really bad about it, we're looking at it instead and going, well, that part of me still lives on. I still carry that part of me who I've always been inside. And that's the truth of who we are. Both Beck and I know that from the work we do in dealing with healing inner child wounds, those little children within us and all of the ages along, all of the joys and all of the injustices, they stay with us, and they stay with us until we resolve them. But we can step into the joy of those moments as well too. We're also moving from dismissal into permission. And with this one, we might be thinking something like, oh, that's silly, it doesn't matter anymore. So it might be something like, I used to be able to eat all of these things, and now I can't. Now I have to watch what I put into my physical body, because my body tells me pretty quickly, like, I can't knock off half a loaf of Vienna like I might have done with my nan. There's just no way I could. I'd be asleep in half an hour. But instead of getting caught in that, we can look at it and go, small memories can restore big safety. So the with my reality in that story around the Vienna, and sitting down and having marmalade with my nan and my siblings, it was more about that family collegiality. It was about coming together. It was about sharing story as a means of connection. It wasn't about whether I could eat half a loaf of bread. So it's the flip on that one. Okay, third shadow. And this one, oh gosh, this is interesting today. We can come from a lost focus into a resource retrieval. So instead of looking at it again with regret and going, things were better back then. Oh, if only I was back in those days. I can't believe that it's not the same anymore. And you hear people talk about this all the time. But my son, youngest son, who's only 22, like, he yearns to have been born in the 80s like his siblings were, because he reckons they were the best years in the world. And he feels ripped off that he missed out on them. But, the reality is that's not going to bring him any joy. So he needs to find in the things he's experienced the joys that were there. So the flip on that one is I can bring forward what felt good. And when we start talking about the nostalgic things for him, and he'll start laughing about his mighty beans, and he was a kid who set up traps all around his bedroom that would, catch me out left, right, and centre all the time. The best time when I was running my very first Reiki class, and he decided to send out a remote control stink bomb into the room and set it off, and thought he was hysterical. And of course, we had 3 males who were friends of mine in the group. They all thought it was hysterical too. So my little naughty boy and the bigger, older naughty boys, they were having a wow of a time that we females were so uptight about this stink bomb. And we laugh about that one often. Or we might step out of emotional numbing and go into a softer reconnection. The shadow of that one might be, I don't feel much lately. We've shut down, we're closed off. We don't want to feel because there's something around feeling that's too painful. And the flip on that one is familiar joy can gently wake my heart up. And it truly can. Like when you step into your memories, um, there is beauty there. I remember when my dad died, and like it wasn't an easy time, but there was peace with it. And I went out into the backyard. It was the very first time I ever experienced mediumship. And I was sitting on the swing, swinging, and he came to me and started talking to me. And he's like, I'm going to share my eulogy with you, and you have to write it down. So he actually channeled his own eulogy. And basically, in the eulogy, he told me how lucky I was to have inherited all of his traits. It was the funniest eulogy. And I had so many people come up to me afterwards and say, like, that was just amazing. And I couldn't tell them where it had come from because I knew that would be way too confronting for them. But for me, the fact that he came and he channeled those things through me, and there was such joy in all of the things, I was able to look at my situation very differently. I wasn't caught in loss. I was able to say, hey, yeah, I do carry that piece of you in my heart. I carry that awareness that family is important. I carry that awareness that the ridiculous things in life are important. I carry that important. He used to say, if you've got 5 friends in the world who would be there for you at any time, day or night, you're the luckiest person in the world. And I'm like, yeah, I carry that awareness with me. So, that was a really beautiful moment out of what could have been a challenging time. Now, do you want me to do the affirmation or do you want to do it, my love?
You.
Keep going. Okay. So close your eyes, Kerry and Becca. And we're going to have a look at some joy flips to make it different. And the first one is I still carry who I've always been. And I see those little mischievous children inside both of the two of you. Small memories can restore big safety. And I can bring forward what once felt good. And I love this one. Familiar joy gently wakes my heart. Last one. Continuity steadies me. Now, do you want us to keep our eyes closed and you go straight into it, Beck?
Yeah, if no one's got any questions or comments, we can go into today's meditation. No,
Sure.
I've got shaking
Yeah.
heads. Okay. Everyone's just in their memories.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, so today we are doing a beautiful one called Memory Pause. So if you want to close your eyes and get somewhere comfortable. Okay, so take a nice deep breath in and breathe it out. And allow your body to relax with each inhale and exhale. As you settle, I invite you to envision a calm, serene space, a quiet room with gentle lighting, where a large, beautiful mirror stands before you, reflecting not just your image, but the essence of who you are. Notice some things about yourself now. How have you come to be who you are now through your past experiences? Be curious and ponder. And when you're ready, You can step into the mirror and find yourself in a mysterious landscape. Mists float all around you. The colors are dim and objects are slightly unfocused. As this world comes into more focus, you can see that there are pools of water dotted all over the place. Welcome to the land of memories. There is one pool in particular that seems to call to you. The surface is smooth and inviting. Look into this pool and see your reflection. It might look a little bit different, perhaps a little younger. Your reflection begins to shift, and a good memory from your past begins to emerge. How has that memory influenced who you are today? Take your time investigating the other pools of water and see the memories inside them. Allow yourself to relax and let go of any judgment. The memories that come forward may be joyful, bittersweet, or even silly. Each flicker in the pools is a part of you that has shaped who you are today. Now find one final pool, a specific memory that brings you joy. Perhaps a favorite song or movie, a cherished snack, a beloved pet, or a special moment spent with family and friends. See this memory playing out in the water of the pool. As you observe this scene, consider the feelings that arise. What joy does it bring you? Allow these feelings to wash over you, nurturing your heart and your spirit. Repeat out loud or in your head, I can bring the good forward. Familiar joy softens me. Memory restores safety. I still carry that part of me. They are me. Understand that these memories are not just relics of the past. They are resources that can draw from today. Nostalgia can be a bridge, not an escape. It is a reminder of the joy that is always within you. This joy is a part of you, waiting to be accessed whenever you need it. And take a breath. When you're ready, you can step out of the mirror and notice your heart beating in your chest, a vibration behind your ribs, your heart beating down your arms, into your hands, pulsating through your fingertips. Through your heart beating down your legs, into your feet, and pulsating through your toes. And feel it vibrating through your entire body now, through every cell in your being. You are alive and you are here. If you need to wiggle your fingers and your toes, take a nice big stretch. You can now. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Welcome back, everyone. How's everyone feeling?
Thank you, Becca. I'm really good. Gosh, I have a lot of food memories.
Yay! The best memories.
I know. I think it's because they're community focused. Like I didn't have any memories of me sitting alone in a bedroom or behind a tree or somewhere eating on my own. They were all fun times that have been shared with other people. Yeah, there was no wardrobe sitting. I didn't do a nan. Yeah, funny.
The thing, like food is such a way of connecting with people,
Yeah,
right? Like that's why people they don't like giving up things like smoking or drinking because of the social aspect of it. It's not so much that they need to have the cigarette or they need to have the alcohol or something. It's just the bringing together the people, that community spirit, right?
yeah,
And so the food does the same thing. It's that
yeah.
experience of the food with the community and the love of the people around you and the enjoyment, right? Yeah.
I think I could still enjoy your sourdough bread in solitude though.
Yeah. Oh, like honestly, I hardly eat anything, but like since I've started making sourdough, I literally just walk past it and I cut myself a slice. And I don't know what else to do, so I cut myself a slice. Just like and it's lots of butter on top and everything. It's fantastic. So I eat so much bread now because it's
Mm,
just there, it's just on the counter, right? So cut it every
yeah,
time I walk past.
calling you.
Mm.
Do you have anything you want to share, Kerry?
Yeah, when I was little, we used to go out to property, um, mum's. grandparents lived at Cunnamulla, which was about 500 miles away. And every Christmas we'd go there and join family. And I used to catch the train by myself. Now I was only very young,
Yeah.
and there was no hassle. Sometimes I'd have a room where you could sleep. Otherwise, I had a sitter, and I wasn't scared. In those days, you could travel.
Mm.
And all of mum's sisters and brothers met, and if there was any kids, and mum and dad and my sister used to go by car a week after I had gone, because in those days you used to get a free train pass when you're at school
Oh,
from the
wow.
government. So every Christmas I used to get my free ticket, and we'd go out to Cunnamulla and then about 45 kilometres further to mum's aunties who had a big sheep property. And it was just so much fun. All the family together. And I remember the men playing cricket, and Dad hit a bee's nest. And I remember seeing him running, and these bees were after him. Oh, there's just so much pleasure from that. And it was hard when it stopped because
Yeah.
we'd done it year after year, and it was a big place. The storeroom would be as big as my lounge room because they only went into town every so often.
Mhm.
And it was just fun. So
It's
I really
interesting.
enjoyed.
Yeah. It's interesting because you still have that free spirit in you because last year you went to Perth on your own, and that's a pretty gutsy. So you obviously still have that, young child who was able to journey on the train on her own still inside you. And you were kind of reliving that joy through that adventure.
Yeah. I went to Tasmania by myself the previous year, couple of
Oh,
years. But it took
and
me
then,
a long time to get to that stage because no way would I go anywhere by myself. And I just decided one day it's time to get out
yeah.
of that and just do it. So, yeah, I've been to a couple of places by myself.
But what you did was you borrowed a memory from the past. You borrowed that little girl
Yeah.
from the past. Said she was resourceful, she was brave, she was adventurous. Let's bring her into the present moment. And that's how you
Oh,
managed it.
cool.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
well,
very good.
yeah. Yeah. It's interesting the resources we have in the past that we don't recognize are there. A lot of
No.
I keep trying to bring my young child who could do handstands and cartwheels back in, but she keeps retiring. She's like, no.
Mm.
Okay, so tomorrow we are doing beauty on purpose. So we're going to be looking at the beauty in the ordinary and the mundane. So it's going to be
Mm.
very, very nice one tomorrow. They're all
Yeah.
nice, but yeah, yeah, nice one
It's
tomorrow.
an axe, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. So you don't need to bring anything for tomorrow, just your good self.
Yeah.
It's easy
Beautiful.
enough.
Memories you want to share, Becca?
Well, because yeah, I don't tend to do the
Yeah, it's different.
meditation myself when I'm doing it, right? So yeah, yeah. I mean, I do like going back to thinking of like my childhood and stuff like that. And yeah, I do enjoy that. And there was a time where I was like, oh, what would I do if tomorrow I woke up and I was eight again or something? Like, how would I live my life differently? And what would I do? And yeah, there was a whole sort of few months that I literally lived in the past in a bad way, just like that, and was like, oh, because I kind of felt like it was almost gonna happen. It was very strange. So that's a dangerous way of going through the nostalgia. Now I've learned to just enjoy those memories, bring, like you said, those parts of me back when I need
Yeah.
them, when I need to bring in that old me and well, younger me, I guess, the older version of me, for certain things, for sure. Yeah.
I was just really funny for me because I loved reading books like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and what's the other one I was thinking of? I can't remember what it was, but where there was like the secret garden, where there was like portals or secret rooms or places you could go. And I can remember thinking when I must have been about 10, and I was very into the magic faraway tree and all of those different worlds. I can remember thinking that there was something that was kind of like I imagined to be like a remote control. And if I could only find that in my house, I searched for ages, that I would be able to open up all of the magical passageways,
Mm.
avenues in my house. And it's kind of funny when you look at it now. You're like, I'm 63 now. I look back and I found a means of being able to do that through my spiritual practices, where I can step into other worlds, whether it be through the Akashic or altered states of consciousness, or whatever the process is. There's a means now for me to step into other dimensions and look at things from a different perspective. Oh, that's actually something else. That's a funny story. When I was in grade 6, my best friend at the time convinced me that she had a genie in a bottle in her garage. I went to her house 4 times to see this genie in a bottle, and miraculously, every time I went, it wasn't there. And I was telling a group of school children I was teaching about it one day. They could not stop laughing. They're like, we can't believe how gullible you were. How could you believe anything like that? But I wanted to believe in magic so much. Magic was
Mm.
been a magical child. Magic was such a core essence of my being that it never entered my mind that she was just messing with me. Never. Crazy.
That's cool.
Before I realised that my nan was putting the sixpences in the Christmas pudding. I just used to think I was lucky. And after my grandpa died, she was like, Karnie, you can come and help me. And it was like I was being given this big honour of putting the sixpences in. And I just looked at it and I'm like, you've ruined all of the magic for me. Like, now I know it's not real. So, yeah, she thought she was bestowing me with this great honour and privilege, and I was horrified. Yeah, nostalgia's really cool when you look at it from just borrowing it and not living there.
Mm.
Yeah,
Living there
yeah,
is dangerous.
it is. Yeah. Just to add in, so because that just reminded me what you just said. My mum used to tell me, because she was the youngest child by a lot in her family, and they would get like a flashlight, a torch, and they would shine behind her back this torch and go, "Oh, look, it's Tinkerbell, the fairies are here." And she said, like, she believed that until she was quite old. That, but it's a family standing behind her with the lights. Oh, look, the fairies are
Yeah,
here. And she's like, oh my gosh, the fairies. It's like, because she was magical too, right? She wanted to believe so much that, the magic was there and it existed. It would never even occur to her that it was her brother and sister and her parents doing it behind her back, right? So,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, my mum did the same with me with like it was Fifi the fairy, and Fifi the fairy would come when I was being, shall we say, in inverted commas, naughty, or she couldn't control. I was being perhaps a bit strong-willed, and she would turn the fan on in the kitchen that I believe was the fairy's wings. I would have been up until 12, 13 again. And she would say that Fifi the fairy was going to the ship to tell my dad on the ship that I was misbehaving. And I'd pull my head in real quick. So it was a different version of wait till your father gets home, because he was gone for like up to 9 months at a time. But,
Mm.
just think what you believe as a child when you want to believe.
Mm.
Really interesting. Anyway, I reckon we probably need to stop there, because otherwise we'll be nostalgizing for 2 or 3 hours.
Absolutely. It's a dangerous one, this one, right?
It's
Okay.
a
All
mm.
right. Well, thank you everyone for coming. This has been oh, I've completely forgot my lines now. Hasta la vista for Hasta la vista from the Hippie Chicks. I've been Becca.
And I'm Karnie. And we look forward to catching up with you tomorrow for another Joy Flip. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.